And we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to A Bookish Moment. I'm Sarah Burr.
And I am JC Kenny, and I brought my bowl of snow indoors because we're going to have a little holiday winter celebration, Sarah. So I think it's time to get bookish.
Yes, we're going home for the holidays today. We thought it would be just a really nice way to spend our afternoon with you all, getting into the holiday spirit, talking about our favorite memories, our favorite holiday books and movies, and things about our characters' traditions, the towns that we've created, what they get up to at Christmas time, all of that good fun. And we'd also love to hear from you in the chat about what your traditions are and what your favorite foods, movies, carols, all of that good stuff. So it's just going to be a very warm, fuzzy, comfortable vibe that we're going for this afternoon. And we, of course, are joined by the Queen of Christmas herself. We have Trixie Silvertale here with us, our dear friend, who you guys may remember seeing. We celebrated the release of her latest Christmas catastrophe mystery, Linzer Cookie Murder, earlier in, I think it was October, at the early
Yeah.
October. Gosh, how time is flying.
I know.
But we're so excited to have you here, Trixie. It's going to be such a fun way to kind of welcome in the season with you, because you have your Christmas catastrophe mysteries that are so heavily steeped in the Christmas spirit.
Indeed.
And as we have folks settling in for the afternoon show, we've got Regina. Oh, I love this name. Regina the Southernista saying good afternoon.
Nice.
Love it. Good
That's very
afternoon to
nice.
you, Regina. We've got Farmhouse Readers saying happy holidays to you all. And we have DHBA saying cheers. So as folks get settled into the chat, if they haven't come across you before, Trixie, do you mind just introducing yourself briefly about what your book series and why you got into writing cozy mysteries?
Of course. I wore my flannel shirt today because you said the holidays. So
Yes.
this is in honor of all the Hallmark holiday hunks who are about to get back together with their girlfriends. So I did that. But I'm Trixie Silvertale. I write paranormal cozy mysteries. I have 5 different series, and one of them is the Christmas Catastrophe Mysteries, which features Santa's daughter who does not want to take over the sleigh, does not want to deliver toys. She wants to leave the North Pole and open a bakery. So, which is probably my secret dream, honestly. I don't want to do that much work. But so I wrote about it. I got to live vicariously through the character. And gosh, I've already forgotten the rest of the question.
Well, I just want
Well,
to say that you could open up you could open up a bakery because you shared your Linzer cookies with us when you were here last,
yeah.
and I can still taste them. They were so good.
I love baking. I just don't think I would want the pressure of having to do it every
Oh
day
yeah.
and be open
Yeah.
by a certain time. And, I mean, I'm pretty fortunate in my writing schedule is mine to make. And, I don't have to open my doors to anyone.
Yeah.
It's just me. I can just put on my roller skates and dictate away.
So, speaking of dictating away, we were kind of talking about this before the episode went live.
Yeah.
That Trixie, you've written lots and lots of books. It took you a while to get to writing a Christmas holiday book. And we are fortunate now that, you've got a series kind of specifically for that, as well
Yeah.
as holidays with other series. Can you talk about maybe what brought you to writing that first holiday Christmas book?
Yeah. So I didn't get to a holiday book until book 16 in the Mitzi Moon Mysteries. And I think it was mainly because when I first started with that series, I was releasing a book every month. And it was, a present day setting in this quaint little town. And so in my mind, I was living it out in real time. So if I'd released a book in January, we talked about the snow. If I released a book in February, we talked about Valentine's Day, whatever. I was just kind of in that mode. And even though I started in October and the third book came out in December, it didn't come out at Christmas time. It came out earlier. So it was a winter mystery, but it wasn't Christmas, so I didn't I didn't go there. And so it wasn't really the dates didn't really hit until that one. And so then I was like, oh, it's Christmas. I think we had in book 11, we have a New Year's kind of themed event, which I can't say what event it is because that would spoil or whatever. But so we were, we just missed it then, and then finally it all lined up right, and I got to do the, I think it was Carols and Yule Perils was the first
Yule
Christmas
Perils.
mystery, and they celebrate Yule, so I have
Mm-hmm.
a Yule themed title for that particular one, but. Yeah, so I don't know, it literally kind of happened organically because of the timing and because of what I had done in my head about,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in real time. It's summertime. Oh, it's a tornado, whatever. So that kind of a thing. Yeah.
And that
So
makes
then
total
how
sense.
does yeah, it does. And so for those folks out there who haven't read Mitzi or haven't read all of them, and folks, you know what I'm going to say, if you haven't done that, then you need to put Mitzi Moon books on your Christmas list for Santa Claus to bring you. Um, how would Mitzi how does Mitzi like to celebrate the holidays?
Well, her backstory is an orphan going through the foster care system, and then just kind of a bunch of minimum wage jobs, broke barista kind of a thing. So she didn't really have much of a holiday tradition when she suddenly discovered this inheritance. This lawyer shows up at her door and delivers this envelope with this whole family and future that she has no knowledge of. And off she goes to Pincherry Harbor. And so her first holiday season there, she's kind of learning all about the possibilities of traditions that exist. They have a huge winter carnival. They serve glug, which is like a mulled wine or cider, depending on, if people want to do alcoholic or not. They have an ice
Glue.
castle. They have chainsaw carving. They have, all kinds of different things. And eventually, through the arc of the books, I don't even, I think it might not even be until the spinoff series, she kind of becomes part of that and is part of the committee that's putting up lights in the park and that sort of thing. So there's, each book, the mystery is finished, right? There's never a cliffhanger or anything, but there's a series arc for the character. The longer she's living in this little town, the more people she knows, the more she's getting involved, the more she's feeling it is her home, kind of connecting with people there and then partaking in more of the traditions herself rather than just being an outsider viewing them.
I think that that's one of the fun things about writing cozy mysteries that are set around the holidays is that we get to like create these traditions for the towns that we are designing basically, and it's
Mhm.
fun to pull things that are from our own experiences but ones that you just maybe it pops in your head or you've seen it on TV or something along those lines. So I'm curious, out of like all of the, you mentioned like the ice carving and things like that. Is there one that you have experienced personally, Trixie, that is like one of your favorite things about one of your favorite traditions or events to attend in your town, or a nearby town that you get to participate in each year?
Well, I mean, I experienced all of them. I always pull from real life when I get
Mm-hmm.
into those types of things. Um, where I live now in northern Arizona, really the only tradition, because snow is hit or miss. I mean, we
Yep.
do get snow, but it could it could fall 8 inches and then be gone by tomorrow. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't really build a festival around it. But they do have a kind of an art gallery, restaurant, shopping area that has a luminaria celebration
Mhm.
every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so they set up all these luminarias and light the candles and kind of make a big deal about that. And they used to do a Christmas light decoration competition, but honestly, it's quite a tourist town and it gets a little overrun now ever since COVID, when, Arizona had very lax restrictions and people are like, go
Hmm.
to Arizona, you can do whatever you want out there. And then they never forgot about it. So now we're just, from like 2 million tourists a year to 5 million tourists a year. And it's
Wow.
just too much. I'm not a people-y. That's not my jam at all.
Hmm.
So the crowds are too big, so it's not something that I do anymore. But it was fun
Yep.
when I first, came here 20 plus years ago. There was far fewer, people, and so it was something fun to do then. But I have the memories of it.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned the luminaries that like brought back with such force a kind of a Christmas catastrophe of my own that I participated in high school. I was a part of the National Honor Society, and one of their responsibilities was to create it. It was called Light a Luminary,
Uh-huh.
where people would buy they would buy like a pre-made bag that they would then light, and you would put it up along the path, so like you felt like you were a
Oh,
part of it.
like
So
sponsoring a brick or something.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And
Yeah.
as part of NHS, we had to assemble those bags.
Ooh.
I don't know. You'd think that National Honor Society, we may have had some ability of like having reading comprehension, but whatever the instructions were that we were given to make these bags, we messed it up so badly that we like left everything. We thought, oh my God, like we did this so well. And like they said it was going to take 2 hours, but it only took us like 45 minutes. Like we're such pros. Like
Wow.
look at us. We
Yeah.
get caught, we get like our names blasted over the loudspeaker the next morning at school. That's like, report to your advisor's office immediately, because we had like a faculty advisor for the group.
Ooh.
And we walk in and she was like, what did you do? And apparently
Oh
we
my
did everything wrong and had to go back. It took us 2 hours to correct our mistake, and then another 2 hours to
Uh-huh.
actually do it the way that she had written out in the instructions.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that's not what this says on this piece of paper. I'm sorry. Like I just like the fact that we all did it wrong the same
Yeah.
way has to tell you something.
Yes.
Um, and so
Yeah,
like
something
we
is,
we had to scramble really hard to not ruin the Light a Luminary walk for our town that year.
yeah.
So
Gosh.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Instru
well, here's my Christmas disaster story then. So this is when I'm in eighth grade, and this is different from the story that I told Sarah earlier today.
Okay. Love
So
it.
eighth grade,
Ooh.
so it started out Christmas Eve. Played a basketball game. Had a CYO game that afternoon. Okay, and then I was an altar boy, raised Catholic, so I was an altar boy. So I served at 5 o'clock mass on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
I was also in the choir, and we sang at midnight mass. So
Ooh.
basically, I
Oh,
went from boom, boom, boom. I'm like, Mr. All Over at Christmas Eve. I go home the next morning, Christmas, and I am just sicker than a dog. It's just
Oh.
everything,
oh
just
no.
that whole day caught up with me, and it was like I spent all of that Christmas day. I spent it in bed.
Oh
Oh.
my gosh.
That's one thing I
No
don't
good
know.
deed goes unpunished.
Yeah.
Well, and it was like, oh well, it's like, it was. I just that's where it's like I guess I'm not a tough guy. I'm a sensitive guy.
I'm trying to think if I think I have been, knock on wood, lucky enough that I personally have never been sick on Christmas morning. I do know that my parents were sick at many different times, but they had to like power through it without like really letting me know that they were sick, because they didn't want to ruin the Christmas festivities. Um, but yeah, that would be awful.
Oh
That
my gosh.
I used to, I mean, probably up until like 3 years ago, I would get up super early every Christmas morning because I was so excited.
Yeah.
Um, and it got earlier and earlier and earlier each year as a kid until I think one night I like woke up and it was 2 o'clock and I was like, I'm just gonna go like look at what Santa brought me now. And in my family, there's the tradition of the gifts that Santa brings are left unwrapped underneath the tree, and then
Oh,
the wrapped gifts are from family and friends and such. So you could always see immediately what Santa brought you because it was unwrapped. And I think that was the year that I got the Lion King had come out, and they were selling these purring stuffed animals of Simba and Nala that also had magnets in their noses so that they would kiss.
oh
So,
yeah.
but the
Wow.
purring was like super loud when you squeezed them.
Mhm.
And here I am at 2 o'clock in the morning, just like squeezing the life out of
Oh.
these stuffed animals. And my mom comes into the room. She's like, "What are you doing up right now?" And I was like, "The presents are here." She's like, "Get back to bed." And because I had stupidly woken up my parents by, having these
With your too
purring
loud
things.
purring. Yeah.
I was like, I was not a child that had a lot of situational awareness growing up.
Oh my gosh. That's
Oh,
awful.
Trixie, I mean, you've got kids, so you probably have a few stories, I would imagine, of Christmas Eve or the
Oh my
holidays
gosh.
staying up way too late and then having to get up way too
Yes, I
early.
mean, I think probably one of the funniest ones was not that long ago. My daughter-in-law thought it would be fun to bake cookies for everyone, and I don't have a very big family, but she has a huge family. And one thing led to another, and she wasn't able to actually come and help me finish. So I baked, I don't know, 14, 16, 20 dozen cookies, like
Oh,
10
Holy
different kinds of
smoke.
cookies, like pfeffernusse and then stained glass window cookies and, like serious cookies. And I had all these tins I had collected from the Goodwill and some other thrift stores. And I got all these cookies made and in their little tins and decorated, whatever. And we took them down to her and gave them to her so she could drop them off the next day. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, I'm not okay. And this was December 2021. And guess what?
Oh,
I
oh
tested
no.
positive for COVID.
oh
Ah,
So I
no.
had to call her. I'm like, um, do not deliver those COVID
yeah.
cookies to anyone
Yikes.
because I just made 20 dozen COVID cookies. Don't give those. Yeah. So the whole thing was just an absolute disaster. I think she had to
Oh,
Ah,
a couple people and she had to call them don't eat the cookies, and then they just ate. They had already been sick as well, so they ate the cookie and they brought some back. But all of that work and
oh my
nobody
gosh.
got their cookie.
that's when
That's
we go to it's the thought
Mm,
that counts.
right. Right, exactly. And you're like, and you should be doubly grateful because I didn't give you the COVID cookies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh, I couldn't believe that. That was just, I was like, no, this can't be. I really feel like, oh, no, no. And it happened. And so we
Oh my
spent
goodness.
the holidays, all of us just on the couch, Rochambeau for who's gonna, get food or whatever. Ugh, that was
We
great.
have folks, Trixie,
uh,
commiserating in the chat for or with you. We got Farmhouse Reader saying, "Oh wow, how awful." I'm trying here. I'm like trying to do the math still of like 12 times 14, trying to figure out like how many cookies is that? But that's a
Was
lot.
so many
That's a lot of
cookies. I
cookies.
mean, just
And speaking of cookies, rapid fire round. What is your favorite type of Christmas cookie to make and eat? And if they're different, why? Or if they're the same, then you only have to say one cookie.
my favorite ones to make are the stained glass window cookies
Mm-hmm.
because they look amazing. They're gorgeous, but you can't eat them. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you can't even store them because they start to stick to each other. Then it's like, huh, and you're like, did I break my tooth? Was that so they're beautiful, but I mean, like maybe they're an ornament and they're not really a cookie.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to eat like just the traditional sugar cookie decorated badly by, one of my grandchildren or something. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's so many good cookies. I'm just not, but that I have like a really good sugar cookie recipe that is pretty
Ooh.
amazing. So
I do love a good sugar cookie.
Yeah,
JC, do you have a
yeah.
favorite like holiday cookie that you like to? Do you? I'm assuming you're not baking it, but do you like to eat it?
No, my job when it comes to baking is to stay out of Nancy's way.
well done, you.
When they're ready to be when they're out of the oven, then I help transfer them onto the cooling tins and all that kind of stuff. So, but
Okay.
she makes like you, Trixie. She's a big the traditional sugar cookie with the press. So we'll have like the Christmas trees and the wreaths and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
spritz cookie.
And
Yeah,
and I love those,
those are
and I'm
really
not
good.
just saying it because she's my wife. They're just so good,
They're
and
good.
they're practically like popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
I could eat a whole bucket of them, in one sitting. So,
Those are good.
so
Yeah.
that's me. How about you, Sarah?
My grandmother, she makes their fruitcake cookies, but they don't taste like any fruitcake that I've ever had in my life. They're very soft, they're very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
They have like little bits of dried candied fruit in them, and it's very funny because the cookies themselves are very polarizing in our family. You either love them or you don't. And I love them absolutely.
Uh-huh.
And my grandmother, she makes them with such care with her decorations, and she has like little like and for all of the different animals that our family has, because we've have had horses, donkeys, people have had chickens, like dogs, cats, what have you. And she'll always
Wow.
make cookies of what animal your family has. So we always have
Oh,
like an Evie that we get in our Christmas cookie box. So I'm very excited to see what she does with Ito this year,
uh-huh.
because because Evie and Ito are both very different in the looks department. So their decoration should be really fun. But I love the act of decorating sugar cookies. The having that like the nice
Yeah.
they've got such like a strong canvas, and I just like we have like really intense tools for cookie decorating. I don't know about you guys, but my dad, he has like these little mini chisels that he'll bring out so that he can like do
Oh
like
wow.
lines. He'll make like lines of sugar on the frosting. We have tweezers for like putting like eyeballs in places, and it gets to be
Yes.
a pretty like intense cookie decorating experience. But by the end, you're kind of it's like you can only do so many before you start to kind of wind down. And by the end, we're just like dumping sugar that's already on our plates because it's fallen off of the other cookies. So then you have like these disgusting looking cookies that we've just gotten tired. It's like just put something on them and be done with it.
Oh
Um,
my God, that's awesome.
I do love a good cookie decorating. But books. Let's talk about the Christmas stories that have stayed with us throughout the years. And we do have. I like Regina's comment here in the chat. She says, "I don't have a favorite cookie. I just eat the cookie," and I think that
There
that's
you go.
also a very valid way to approach any type of
Yeah.
Christmas food, because
And yeah.
as long as it's there for consumption, it's like I'm gonna eat
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat
Yep.
it.
Mhm.
And so I'm wondering, Trixie, you came with a lovely list to share with us regarding holiday books, and hopefully JC and I can add some suggestions in there and would love to know like what books get you into the spirit of the season and make you smile.
Well, I think, um, and I'm terrible at this because, we talked about this and like pick one book. I'm like, okay. Well, so what I did was I picked two box sets. So I
Okay.
Nice.
completely didn't follow the instructions.
That
So,
is.
but one that I like to reread is The Winter Witches, but with Erin
Oh.
Johnson. And
Mm-hmm.
she has done a box set of her characters' three stories in that it's a multi-author world. But her character Rudy has three full stories, and she did a box set of those. So that's a fun one. Just kind of, I like the artwork and just the
Mm-hmm.
visual, and I like her writing style. And then one that is a new discovery for me is the Christmas Time Murders by Lena
Ooh.
Clover, and
Mm-hmm.
that is also a little a box set of three books, and it's just a fun character and a new little village and some cool traditions and three fun mysteries, and I just thought, "Oh, that's kind of, something new and different, an author that
Yeah.
I'm just discovered not too long ago." So those are a couple of my recommendations for the holidays.
I think that those are some great additions that folks can
Yes.
add. I know that I had a lot of fun when I was writing Dearly Deleted because since Winnie is a book blogger, I wanted to make sure that I was highlighting like all of the different Christmas cozies that I could find. And the amount of Christmas cozies that there are in this world is really incredible.
It
Um,
is.
and so I was really grateful to use cozymystery.com. It's a very easy, straightforward URL that folks can visit because they group together all different types of cozy mysteries and they will kind of bundle them up in certain themes. So if you're looking specifically for a Christmas cozy mystery, you can go right to their site and find it,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
I found to be very helpful when it came to researching. And
Oh,
it
yeah.
also added so many more books to add to my to be read list.
Yeah, oh, no.
One that I do have fun with is I love it when Jana DeLeon does a misfortune uh, Christmas mystery. I can't remember how many she's done at this point. But there's one where the poor Santa ends up dead, and that one was a little like scarring as
Oh,
as
yeah.
I'm listening to it. It's like, oh man, she killed Santa. But those are the hijinks in those books are always great. They're always fun,
Yeah.
and there's something that I love about like the Louisiana style Christmas. That's
Hmm.
always brings joy.
Hmm. Yeah.
JC, do you have any holiday books that you revisit every year?
Not so much that I revisit every year, but I'm going to go kind of go old school with a couple of recommendations.
Mhm.
Got to go with A Christmas Carol.
Hmm.
When I was young and in high school, I thought Charles Dickens was awful and horrific. But then about 10 years ago, I decided to sit down and read A Christmas Carol.
Mhm.
And it's an easy read. It's quick. And it really is with so many film and stage adaptations. It really is a great story to read. And
Mhm.
again, it's not that long, so that's I think a great one. And then
Hmm.
I'll throw out Poirot's Christmas by Dame Agatha.
Mhm.
And that's a great one, kind of a locked house, closed, not locked room, but closed circle mystery. So
Hmm.
that's a fun one too. So
Yeah.
kind of kicking it way back old school for my recommendations.
Those are good ones. Although I don't know if I could read A Christmas Carol now and not picture Michael Caine as Scrooge, just
That's the
because.
way that's the way it should be.
Yep, the Muppet Christmas Carol. I mean, that and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation are like my two Christmas
Oh my
movies that I
God.
go to every single year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. We talked about books, movies, holiday movies that you guys tend to watch during this time of year. Any recommendations other than a Muppet Christmas Carol?
I still watch Love Actually. That's
Oh
definitely
yes,
one.
yes, yes.
But a
Hmm.
couple, I don't know, maybe it's been 3 or 4 years now, but I discovered A Castle for Christmas with Brooke Shields.
Yes,
And
I
I was
watched that
like,
Yeah.
last year.
I love this movie.
Hmm.
So I've binged up watching it every year since. But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites.
Hmm.
Nice. One of the ones that I found kind of by accident through my kids is the Rugrats Hanukkah special. They have a couple of
Ooh.
Hanukkah specials, and
Hmm.
Oh,
I just thought that was really cool because my kids actually were watching it, and it's like, okay, hey, let's it's
yeah.
the time to celebrate all of our
Yep.
faiths in the holidays, and I thought that was really cool. Another one that I'm going to throw out is Patrick Stewart's version of A Christmas Carol. That is brilliant. So
Oh.
that comes second for me after Muppet Christmas Carol.
Hmm.
And another animated one, Hey Arnold Christmas.
No.
Oh my God! I first time I watched that, I was in tears. I end up in tears every single
Oh
time
my
I watch
gosh. I'm gonna have
it. So
to watch that one because
yes.
I love animated Christmas movies. I still watch ones that I watched when I was a kid that as a child I thought that they were like 2 hours long, but then in like reality they were like 40 minutes. It was like
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
Christmas specials that they would air.
Yep.
Yeah, those ones, oh gosh. I'm like a big fan of the like Netflix just like pumping out like corny, cheery movies. Like I love the Princess Switch.
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
they have come out. The print, what was it? Oh, it was like A Prince for Christmas or something along those lines.
Yeah,
Or
that
like,
sounds right.
and it just like when it's like A Prince for Christmas, and then it was like they're engaged, and then there was a baby, and then it just like they just keep going
Yeah.
with all of these. And then
Yeah.
there was Lindsay Lohan's big comeback with her Christmas movie, and so
Yes,
it's
that was
always
good
just really
actually.
fun to
Yeah.
see. There's just something about those films that is like Trixie. You mentioned like you're wearing your flannel
Yeah.
for all of the hunky men that are going to get their girlfriends back, but it's like there's something
Right?
like so nice and innocent that you like sit down and you know that everything's going to be fine. It's just like reading a
Yeah.
cozy mystery,
Yes.
which I think is
Yeah.
what the appeal is. And that reminded me really quickly. I know that, oh my gosh, we've already run out of time, but did you know that they're doing on Hallmark a like it's a reality competition for like the next Mr. like Christmas
Oh
for
yeah.
a
Yes.
holiday movie,
The next
and
Mr. Christmas Eve. Yeah.
they have to do all these like ridiculous challenges to prove like they're the hunkiest of them
I'm
all.
sure.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I need to see what this is about. Mostly because I love the host who was he was from Mean Girls back in the day, and he's just like become like really
Nice.
steeped in Mean Girls, which I'm all for. Uh,
Yeah.
so that was something that's like along with JC. You said you were watching like was it the Canadian Bake Off?
Yeah, Great Canadian Baking Show.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you could like if you want to mix some holiday baking with some holiday like hunkiness, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Really quickly from our chat, you guys, before we begin to wrap up, we have Regina. She is sharing that she had recently posted her Christmas to be read list online. So I think if we go to Regina the Southernista on Instagram, that
Uh-huh.
you guys can see what our friend Regina is reading. Farmhouse Reader to the Castle for Christmas says that I also saw that one. She
Hmm.
remembered Brooke Shields.
Yeah.
And then for Regina's movies, we have Home Alone 1 and 2 are a must. The Alastair Sim version of A Christmas Carol. The Trouble with
Yeah.
Mistletoe and Mr. 365, which are Christmas movies on the streaming platform Passion Flix. Ooh. The Trouble with Mistletoe, that's a good one. And Muppet Christmas is in the top 10 for DHB. Muppet
Okay.
Christmas. Oh, there's the Muppet Family Christmas. That is another one.
Oh.
I know that one because my family, we always talk about the Icy Patch. And it's like the Muppets and the Sesame Street gang end up at a farmhouse for Christmas and chaos ensues. So
Oh, that's great.
that's a fun
Yeah.
one. I just love the Muppets. They can do no wrong in my eyes.
We can do normal. Yeah.
So as we wind down our holiday themed episode, Trixie, can you tell us what's next in your book world? With all of your projects that you have going on. I know that when you were here, you were teasing something secret, but
Yes.
what's going on in that you can share with us?
Well, there'll be another Christmas catastrophe mystery next year.
Perfect.
Um,
Do you know
I
the cookie that you're going to be featuring?
that will be the chocolate crinkle cookie.
Ooh.
Yeah, those are so
Mm.
good, especially when they're just a little underbaked, so they're kind of
Mm-hmm.
gooey in the
Oh
middle.
gosh,
Mm,
I love
yeah,
gooey cookies.
yeah. So that's happening. And I will be launching a new pen name next year and
Ooh.
doing some romantasy. Uh,
Fun.
so yeah, so that'll
Oh, I
be
am so
a fun
excited for that.
switch for me. And I don't know. I think that's about it. I'm still working on my secret project, but hopefully I'll have time. I'm definitely doing the Christmas catastrophe thing, and then hopefully I'll have time to do the other project as well.
Perfect. And this weekend, I
Cool.
think you have something going on, right? Wink, wink.
Oh, yes. Yes, on the 7th, the big Sleuther Fest is happening in the Facebook Cozy Town Sleuth group, and there will be over 100 authors who will be each sponsoring their own giveaway. So there'll be ebooks and paperbacks and who knows what else. And all people have to do is just go to the Facebook group and comment on the giveaways that they want to enter, and hopefully they'll win, at least one or more. With that many options, I think everybody has a pretty great chance.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all three of us are going to be there. JC, are you attending?
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
going to be there
perfect.
too.
So then we're all going to
Yeah.
be there. Yay!
Yes.
Fabulous. Well, there's
Yeah.
so much holiday cheer that we get to look forward to, both with our characters and in our own lives. To our wonderful folks who joined us here for this fun and different chat, a different chat than we normally do, but hopefully you
Yeah.
enjoyed it nonetheless. We thank you for your comments, and folks that are watching after the fact. If you have any, comments, or share your favorite books, your favorite movies, your favorite cookies. Like, we want to know. Because who knows, you may turn us on to something that we've never experienced before.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
before we wrap up, Trixie, where can people stay in touch with you?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram and TrixieSilvertale.com.
Perfect. JC, any closing words for our segment today?
Trixie, thank you so much. This was a
Yeah.
perfect way to really get the holiday season going. And happy holidays to you and yours. And to everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. And Sarah, turn it over to you.
Alrighty. Well, as JC said, happy holidays, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us this afternoon. We will be back next week with two episodes, and I believe they are two also holiday themed books that we'll be talking about. So we are really keeping it
Great.
light and merry over here, and talking about murder at the same time. So
And-
if that's up your alley, you know where to be. So we look forward to seeing you online. But until then, folks, stay bookish. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.